Broadcasting from the Dixon Petunia Festival Sweetland Studios, this is Along the Rock.
Hello again. Welcome to Along the Rock, our podcast that pays homage to the people of the Sauk Valley and the river that runs through it. I'll be your host, as usual, Mark Morris. Joining me today is Karstin Howard, and he calls Lutheran Social Services his home in one way. Karstin, welcome. Appreciate you coming up.
Glad to be here, Mark. Glad to be here.
And we're talking foster services, something that not everybody wants to do, but there are enough people that it gives your organization hope that you can fill the need there is. And I imagine it's a growing need.
It sure is. You know, if you look at it from a nationwide standpoint, Mark, we have over 440,000 kids, youth in care. If you narrow it down to Illinois, we have 18,000 in care. And so it's much definitely is a need to have foster parents, due to the amount of children we have in care. And we always looking for, foster parents, good quality foster parents, because they are, the heartbeat to changing a traumatized kid life and providing a safe environment in order to change the culture of the future generation. When kids come into care, we put them in, great foster homes so it can give them a safe place, a safe environment, and consistent. And hopefully you break that, that cycle.
Yeah. So what does your day look like? What's a typical day for Karstin?
Well, Mark, it varies because you never know what you're facing.
There is no typical day.
Yeah, you never know. It's nothing typical about foster care. But I tell you, we always expect excitement. That's one thing I like about foster care is you never know what's going to happen day in and day out. However, my department, which is licensing, we work together with interdisciplinary teams as far as case management, TFC, which is our therapeutic program, foster care program. We also work with our therapists. And so, we meet often to go over cases that sometimes that, these cases can be rigorous, can be very stressful. However, combined with the other departments, we're able to make strategic decisions on how to handle each case. My department is licensing, so I license foster homes, and that's a challenge as well, because like you said, not everyone wants to be a foster parent. So when I say licensed foster homes, I mean licensed foster parents, and that's what we our main thing is licensing foster parents in my department, and also, Mark, to keep them compliant as well. Oh, sure.
How long a process is that? Is there an average process time for that licensing procedure?
Yeah, on a good day, or right. From beginning to end, it could be 90 days. It just all depends on a variety of things. Because what we offer training for foster parents, and sometimes the training can be extensive. It just all depends if the foster parent really sit down and take the test and watch the video. But now we have a facilitator as well. Some of our foster parents could do self-pace. And what that means is they can get online and read the material and take the test at their own pace. And that works a lot. That works well for many of our foster parents. And so once they take the test do what's called PRIDE training. There's questions that they go through, that they answer, they take notes and everything. Also, prior to that, there's an application process. We have to make sure that foster parents are fit, because sometimes you have someone that wants to foster and they're too young, You know,
Okay.
you got to be, a certain age to foster, but there's an application process. We also collect information from potential foster parents that we make sure they're a good fit for particular children as well. And they let us know what kid they want to foster, whether it's a male or female, sibling groups. It might be some children that with behavioral spec needs or medical needs. So we ask them all the questions so they can have the right kid that they want to foster. So we have the application process. They get us all the material. We go out to their home. We go over all the consents with them. So the process is lengthy. It's not anything that, takes 3 days to complete. It's a lengthy process.
Well, it's a relief to someone like me, who has never been through a foster home and doesn't really know, which leads me to another question. There are some stereotypes about foster care, and I'll let you address each one separately. Number one, that there are people out there who just do it for the money. And it's unfortunate that we have that negative stigma about fostering, and we kind of don't want to focus on the negativity of that point of doing it for money. But if you're not really doing it from the kindness of your heart and want to change a kid's life, that foster parent's not going to last anyway. You know what I mean? We're looking for, and we can pretty much identify in the beginning the potential foster parents that want to foster out of the kindness of their heart, want to change a kid's life, and those that's trying to foster for money. There are signs.
There are signs, and so we kind of know, and it's out there. But 9 times out of 10, when I look in my mental, looking at my foster care sheet in my head, my foster parents really have great hearts, and they have a love for children. That percentage of those individuals that foster for money is very small, but the majority of individuals that foster are really in it to change a kid's life.
Get ready for summer fun at the 2025 Dixon Petunia Festival, featuring music, food, fireworks, parade, carnival, and much more. July 3rd through 6th in downtown Dixon. Details at petuniafestival.org.
Another stereotype, if you will, is that a much bigger percentage of foster kids come from metro areas. Now, I don't mean the number, but the percentage, because obviously if it's a metro area, there are a lot more people there. So is that something that, that is true or false or somewhere in between?
Well, Mark, I think that there are demographics of kids in care from all backgrounds and locations, not all the metro area. We have room for opportunity even in small counties. And, we, like I said, I think LSSI, we service over 41 counties. And, and some of the counties are rural, so it's not just the metro. Yes, we do have a large amount of kids in the metro area, but you take a place like Cook County, there's a lot of people, so the demographic is going to be different from Kane County or Whiteside County. It's going to be different, but we do have a majority of kids that need fostering out of small towns, small communities, so yes, if I compare it to Cook, it's going to seem like it's larger. But if you take all these small counties around, in these small rural areas, it's pretty much almost the same, because these children need great foster homes everywhere. It's just not the big cities, everywhere, even in small towns and communities. So it's a problem everywhere.
Okay. Number 3 is not really a stereotype, but a question about there are some people who are such good foster parents that they continue to foster year after year. In fact, some is it legal for them to adopt if they get to a point where, someone's working out so well?
Well, the goal is, yes. So I'm going to answer this in two parts. The goal is always reunification. We always are focused on reunifying the children back with their bio parents, if that's possible. But if it ends up the goal changing to permanency or adoption, they can, and it's legal. That means that we have exhausted all our resources, because when a child comes into care, we provide services for the child and the bio parents, and through those services, if the services are being met, if the bio parents are doing their part, reunification. But sometimes that we do know that kids sometimes don't go back home with their bio parents because the services that we provided was not met. However, then that goes to adoption, and yes, you can adopt that way.
Mm-hmm. Is the percentage of that happening fairly?
Oh yes, it happens.
Substantial?
It happens a lot as far as the goal changing to adoption. So it happens a lot, and there are times where we might have a foster parent that don't want to adopt. But we have to place that kid in a situation that benefit the child, where place them in the right home that wants to adopt the children. So it's a high percentage. We have a lot of cases that go to adoption and permanency, and it's great because, Mark, it allows, like you said earlier, the consistency. That kid has been in that home for quite some time, and just keeping that kid going on the right track. The kid is thriving, confidence has built up, doing great in school, doing great in the community, involved in extracurricular activities. So we want that kid to stay in that same place, and hopefully, to adopt and stay there, because it really helps build that character and help build that child up in the way that they should go, which is positivity and having a safe home environment.
Right. 18, the age of 18, mm-hmm. Is that a magic number?
Our demographic of kids, the majority of our kids are that needs fostering is 6 to 15, but we do have 18-year-olds in care still. We do have 21 years in care, so 18, we do have children that's 18 years old, yeah, and that's in foster care. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess what I'm really asking is that, like, that's a stereotype. Mm-hmm. At 18, you age out. No more help. You're on your own.
Yeah, and that's the stereotype, but we don't do that. We provide the 18-year-olds with the resources and tools they need. We help them for college. We help them if they don't want to go to college and say they want to get a GED, we do that. But we help them to transition into adulthood and transition to living. We help them. We just don't say, okay, you're done. Figure it out yourself.
Here's your knapsack.
Here's your knapsack. And here's your list of do's and don'ts. No, we provide them with the services and the tools and resources. We are very adamant about continue to be their mentor along the way, and because that's a tough age. That's a tough age group, and foster parents sometimes don't want to. We have foster parents that do love the teenagers and adopt the teenagers because it's fit what they're looking for. But no, we don't kick them out and say, hey, you're on your own. We will assist them and make sure they're on their feet.
Sure. Well, there's another one that's really good to know. This work is, seems to me anyway, that this work is some of the toughest social work that you can do. There's so many fronts that you have to deal with. And as always, lots of questions, lots of answers, lots of paperwork, I'm sure. Do you need more people? And by that, I mean employees. Come on now.
Well, everything is based on how many cases we have per site would determine how many employees we need, and it's always going to be a demand to have more employees and more foster parents.
Sure.
So yes, it's a stressful job, but it's a job that there's a reward. You're doing something, so you're not really focused on the stress piece.
Right.
It's like you're focused on providing a safe home and stable home for a kiddo, and watching this kid grow up and thrive and graduate from high school and go to the military and go to the college. And it kind of like you kind of block out the stress part, because you know that you're doing something that's rewarding. And so yes, I wish I could have 10 people in my department, but that's not the case. It's based on how many cases, the caseload of that site, and we work together. So it could be sometimes make you feel like you're doing the work of 3 people, but that's not all the time. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yes, I'm sure we everybody would want some more people in the department, but we manage well for the staff we have.
Okay. How big's your territory? I mean, you yourself.
Well, I'm the licensing supervisor in Aurora and in Natchitoches. And so just in Natchitoches alone, we service 5 counties here. Okay. And so then I'm in the Aurora area, so I got the Will, I got the DuPage, I have those counties over there. And, Will County is a big county that, parts of Will is right across the street from Cook, Oh, yeah. And so sometimes we tap into Cook County as well. And so I have a large territory as far as my site my licensing departments that I manage. But, we have the people for it, and sometimes I have to get out there and drive and also, refresh my skills, knowledge, and abilities as well. So, but we cover a lot of territory. We cover the northern region.
And LSSI has been doing this in one form or another, as I recall from talking on the phone to one of your coworkers, since 1867.
Talking about over 150 some years. You're talking about, we've been around a long time, and we are the largest private agency in Illinois. So we have history here. We have history, especially in this area, in Natchitoches, in this area, like, LSSI was here before anyone else, you know what I mean? So we have the history, and with that comes along with the relationship with the community. And so people know who we are, and we're not going anywhere. We're going to be here to service the community and make sure that we have the qualified foster parents to help these children grow and be successful people.
All right. His name is Karstin Howard. He works for LSSI. Thank you for coming up.
Thank you, Mark. Glad to be here.
And that about wraps it up for today. My name's Mark Morris, of course, and again, one thanks to Karstin for driving over here, whether it was from Natchitoches or Aurora,
yes.
or Bolingbrook, where he lives.
Yes.
Also like to thank our crew for making this whole thing possible. I'm Mark Morris, and hope you can join us next time and every time for Along the Road.